Hello again, everybody. Welcome along to the Extra Point podcast, a very special edition of the Extra Point podcast, because not only do you get me, which is kind of the C-lister, you get Neil, who's normally the A-lister, but this week becomes the B-lister. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm happy to be the B-lister for our guest that we're about to unveil because, we're talking legends.
We are. We're talking legends, and he's one of the few men in the world that can put up with me on a daily basis. My partner and my mate, Ally McCoist, is with us on the Extra Point podcast. Coisty, welcome along.
Boys, it's great to see you. I'm absolutely delighted to see you boys and looking forward to catching up and having some good crack about the NFL.
The breaking news is that Ally's a Rams fan, Neil, and I'm going to let you into a secret. 2 weeks ago, when they were cruising against Philadelphia, the messages I was receiving were all nice and positive, Super Bowl bound, what a legend Matthew Stafford is. By the time the field goal is blocked and Jordan Davis runs it back, Ally's message was, "That's just topped my weekend off. I'm off to bed." Am I right or wrong?
You're 100% right, but I'm going to tell you something. Clearly, when I was watching, I'm sitting on the couch watching it and I'm sending you messages. My initial reaction was one of disappointment, right? But once I sit back and think about it, we should have won that game, which makes us a serious contender this year. A serious contender. I saw enough in the disappointment to tell me it could be our year.
So, Ali, I think two things. I think you're right. I said to Fletch last week, like Sean McVay would have got on that plane heading back to California and think 9 times out of 10 we win that game. 9.9 times out of 10 they win that game. Second point, that game finished at 9:05. You telling me you went to bed at 9:05 on a Sunday night?
No, Neil, what I'm telling you is that was the start of my sporting Sunday.
I've got to tell you boys as well, honestly, I'm a little bit starstruck because Fletch, like you and probably like you, Ali, when you work in football all the time, you probably put your feet up and your break is to watch the NFL.
Yes.
For me, it's watching and listening to you boys while I'm agonising over every Liverpool shot. I'm a Liverpool fan, don't mind admitting it. So to be on with you, Ali, I listen to you all the time. Fletch, you know you guys are great, so this is fun for me.
Well, it's great to be here, Neil, and the feeling's mutual because Fletch and I are the same. We obviously, football's our main gig, that goes without saying, but we follow everything. You name it, whether it's a golf, but we do love the NFL, and I've been telling them for a long, long time. I've been a Rams man for as long as I can remember. I can't lie to you, boys. I did kind of. I wouldn't say I fell out of love with them when they moved to St. Louis, but the love affair didn't end. But it was a testing time for me, Neil. It really was a testing time for me.
Well, the good news is that Ally's never seen the Rams live in the US.
I have.
Oh, you have?
I have. See, I was saving it for you, mate. I was saving it for you. I knew I could come at you. By the way, how's my luck? It's probably the worst Super Bowl in the last 40 years. Patriots, Atlanta. I was there.
Yeah.
By the way, I need to tell you the story, right? I love the Rams. I think Jared Goff was a quarterback that time. But I made the point I was going to make sure I enjoyed it, right? I really enjoyed it. So I get into the stadium, and what a stadium that is, by the way. The Mercedes-Benz, I think it's called in Atlanta, unless it's changed its name. And I get right up, and I said to myself, I'm watching everything here. I'm watching the warm-up, and I never moved, Neil. I did not move. I watched the entire warm-up. I'm watching the quarterbacks thrown. I'm watching the guys catch the balls for them so they protect their fingers. Everything. It was just, the whole thing was an absolute education. And then, by the way, the game was murder. It really was. I think it finished 13-3. We get beat, right?
That's right.
It was 13-3. I can even tell you, by the way, Gladys Knight was singing the national anthem.
And Jared Goff was absolutely terrified during it.
Absolutely, mate. But my whole occasion, I wanted to save that one for you, Fletch. I have seen the Rams in the States once, and it was the Super Bowl, and it was a fantastic experience. I like watching Rangers, apart from the game, actually. The game's
I was at that Super Bowl as well, and I was with Vernon, and Vernon said to me early on, "Do you want a drink?" I said no, because the year before I got absolutely obliterated at the Super Bowl and could remember very little about it. So this particular year I said no, I'm going to watch it. by midway through the second quarter, the game was that bad. I was on the ale, so it
mate.
turned me back
That's
to
bad
drink
luck
on the
for you,
night.
Fletch, because Super Bowl 52, if you remember, had about 1,100 yards of offense. There was only one punt. The
Yeah.
Patriots and the Eagles. You stay sober for the 13-3 snooze fest.
Exactly. After the one in Minnesota, I actually went out with Ray Lewis, and I hope that I never see Ray Lewis again in my lifetime, based on the condition I was in when I was actually in Ray's company. So,
That's a story for another
But
day.
the good news is that I'm going to rephrase the point I made. Ali's never seen the Rams play a regular season game in the US. And the good news is that he's going to see one with us and Elite Sports Travel when we go to the United States in November. Ali's on the trip as well. So we've got USC on the Saturday. We've got the Rams on the Sunday against Seattle. And then we go to Vegas for the Raiders and the Cowboys. Coisty is with us. We're staying on the beach at Santa Monica. We've got everything planned. Neil's on it, Vernon's on it, I'm on it, Ali's on it. So we've got a great trip planned. And the more the merrier. It's going to be a great time. So Ali's going to be with us. Do you want to ask your big Liverpool question? Because you've got to shoot off soon and go and speak to the commissioner, you hobnobber. Do you want to get the big Liverpool question into Coisty?
I do. Ali, I know this is an NFL podcast, but last couple of games have got me a tad worried. Should I be? And what is our problem?
Well, the easiest thing for me to do, Neil, would give you the answer that you want to hear, and you can go and meet the But I can't do that, mate. I can't do it. It's funny because I'm going to tell you the truth. When we do our predictions, Fletch will tell you, we have a lot of competition going. We do all the predictions at the start of the season. And I fancied Liverpool to win the title. I really did. I looked at the squad and I looked at the work they'd done in the window in the summer, and obviously at the end with Isaac. And I thought, wow, real deal. And I fancied them. That was my tip. But something after the Arsenal game, believe it or not, Neil, which they won, as you know.
Yep.
I'm looking at Arsenal and I'm thinking, there's something about Arsenal, you know. But my little problem that I've got with Liverpool, I think they're fantastic. I think they're a great watch. And we did a couple of games. We did Atletico Madrid and then we did Everton.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, Neil, for 30 minutes of the first half in both games, it's as good as football we've seen anywhere this season. But I don't know whether they take the foot off the accelerator or the other team come into the game. There's been inconsistencies. As good as some of their play has been, and it's been brilliant, there's been one or two inconsistencies. And I'm just a little bit concerned. The goalkeeper's injured now, Alisson's injured, and I'm thinking to myself, brilliant in forward areas. If they get an injury to Van Dijk, Neil, yeah. I think it would be an absolute disaster.
They remind me, Ali, I had an NFL coach, a wise NFL coach once told me about building a roster, and he said it's not like collecting trading cards.
Yeah.
You still got a team, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely 100%. I mean, I think we're in for a great season. I really do. And I think, I still think, I don't know why, I still think it's between Liverpool and Arsenal. You'd be a maniac to rule Manchester City out. You really would, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I like to look at Liverpool and Arsenal. And you know, the frightening thing is, City Fletch, I think it might suit Man City and Pep actually going under the radar ever so slightly.
Yeah.
You know? But, I mean, Liverpool, brilliant watch. Some fantastic players.
That'll take me. That'll do me, Fletch. I need that.
I wonder, whether both Liverpool and Arsenal might need a lead, because I think when they get Rodri fit, when everybody settles down, they can have a big second half of the season, Man City. So that might be the case. I thought we got Vernon. I could see Vernon.
Fletch, can I ask one more question of Ali before I go?
Of course.
Yes.
I got to run. Ali, what was it with the Rams? Was it Eric Dick? Are we going way back?
Yes, Dickerson.
Was
it?
Yes,
Eric Dickerson. Plus the fact, mate, believe it or not, it was my sister. I was telling Fletch a story. My sister moved to Chicago. She's got the brains in the family, and she got a degree in maths and computer sciences, honours a whole bit, and she took 2 years out, and she ended up moving to Chicago. There's Vernon, man. She ended up moving to Chicago, and she worked at the racetrack. Don't ask me why, but when she worked at the racetrack, she became a mad Bears fan, right? And of course, that was a team. Mike Dichter, one of the best. I mean, the fridge was a talking point right at the time when William Perry was a man, 1985, I think it was. And then, was it Walter Payton, the running back? I mean, that was a sensational team. So at that time, I mean, there was no way I could support the same team as my sister. You know what it's like, so I had to go whoever. And I picked it. I became really focused on the Rams, and it was Dickerson at that time, the running back, who was just grabbed the imagination for me. And if you do remember, and if memory serves me correctly, I think the Bears knocked out the Rams on the way to Super Bowl 85.
They did.
So there was, thankfully, the best place for my sister at that particular time was Chicago, non the house, or had I got it even more. So that's the story, mate. That's where the Rams come from.
Coisty, they did. I remember Mike Singletary filling a hole and knocking Eric Dickerson into the middle of next week. And Dieter Brock, the quarterback, suddenly realised what it was like to move from Canada to the United States and play against the 46 defence. Have you got to go now, Neil?
I've got to go, but I'm bringing on a sub. Looks like Vernon's coming on and I'm going. So
I'm tempted to say out with the old and in with the new, but you might take it the wrong way.
Hey, that's how I look. That's how he looks. I can't change that. All right, that's just my lot in life. I'm going to
Neil, enjoy the commish. Enjoy the
Great to
commish.
see you, mate.
You too, Alex, on the road.
Well, looking forward to it.
Vernon. Now, I feel like I've got to make this point, right? This is a podcast that me, you, and Neil do, right? And to this point, this season, Ally McCoist has been on this podcast more than you.
I know. Well, listen, Fletch. Like, I can't say, it's because of work commitments, because I don't think there's anyone in radio or broadcasting who works more than Ally McCoist.
Brilliant, mate. How are you, man? Great to see you, mate. You good?
Yeah, I'm very good, buddy. Can I just say, and I'm not embarrassed to say this, I wake up with McCoist every morning. I really do.
Don't we all?
I really do. It's nice. It's nice that someone can actually articulate their opinions on sport, and in a way that it doesn't. You have this very, very, very talented technique of not being divisive. Do you know what I mean? You say enough. You say enough without upsetting people. Yeah. I love that.
I think, Vel, I think, with a great respect, I think it's important that you've got to give your opinion. You've got to be, the one thing you've got to be honest. You've got to be forthright. But I agree with you. There's no need to upset people.
No.
If you can do it and not upset people, that's the way to do it.
And the thing is, though, there's nothing worse than upsetting football fans.
Right, I'm going to make 2 points at this stage. You just said that Ali says just enough without upsetting anybody. I say not enough and upset everybody. So that's why we're yin and yang in the partnership. And you might wake up with him, but you imagine what my morning's like. I wake up with him, and then when he's finished, you pick the baton up, you take it through the rest of it.
Hey, that's a perfect tag team. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, brilliant.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
You're my morning partnership. So we're getting into this conversation, Vern, because he's coming with us on the big trip to LA and Las Vegas to see USC, the Rams, and the Raiders.
Can't wait.
He's just explained where the whole idea of the Rams came from. I didn't know until today the Super Bowl that we were at in Atlanta, and we had the picture taken with Gareth Southgate, David Moyes, Dave Brailsford, Roberto Martinez. Coisty was there for that Super Bowl. He was there. That's the only game he's seen. Was the
Well, honestly, mate, you couldn't make it up. And we've already been through the whole discussion about it not being the best game, not being the best Super Bowl by any stretch of imagination. But what an experience. I mean, the Rams are my team, and we went to the stadium. I was just saying to Fletch, it was incredible. The whole experience from start to finish was amazing. But getting back to it, Fletch, Vern, I haven't even told you some of the stories as well. When we were away with Scotland, but prior to a couple of the tournaments, before Euro 92 and Euro 96, I'll take you back to Euro 92. We played the USA at the Mile High Stadium in Denver, right? So I've actually played in the Mile High Stadium in Denver, which I believe is no longer there. I can't remember what it's called now. It's got another name for it. But anyway, we'll come to that. But why it's special to me, our season had finished. We're waiting in the Euros. But there was a game somewhere, I want to say Bulgaria, right? And there was a game in Bulgaria or Romania, and it was their final game of the league season. And there was somebody playing with either Levski Sofia or Stoya Bucharest. And they were the only person that could catch me to win my first ever European Golden Boot. And believe it or not, prior to the game in the Mile High Stadium in Denver, I found out the bloke hadn't scored and I'd won my first European Golden Boot.
Yay!
So happy days! Happy days! And then before Euro 96, I'll let you get a word in a minute, guys. Before Euro 96, we're over in the States again and we trained on Soldier Field, Chicago.
Oh.
So, there you are.
Now we'd like that, Vern. We'd like that.
Yeah.
We're Bears
And
fans,
also,
Coasty.
Ali, that would have been before Soldier Field was renovated. It would have been
Yes.
the old school.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
100%. That would be 96, wasn't it? 96, yeah. Absolutely.
Lovely.
Wow. Now that.
Hey, I've got a technical question for you, Ali.
Yes.
Because every now and again, we like to get a little bit technical on this podcast. The grass on an American football pitch, did you get any different feeling sensations with the footing on an American football field as opposed to a football field?
Do you know something, Vern? Not really.
Oh, that's good.
But to be honest with you, you were half expecting it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you're out and it's slightly different, to be honest with you. Absolutely slightly different. So mentally, I think you're half expecting it. But in answer to the question, no. Once you get going, once the training was going, once the ball was knocking about, not really, not at all, to tell you the truth.
I've got a technical question as well for you, Coisty. The fact that you've scored in Mile High Stadium, does that put you in the Mile High Club?
No, by the way, listen, mate, I have to inform you. I said I'd played there. I didn't say I scored. If I was going to give you the full story, we did beat the USA 1-0, but our wonderful winger Pat Nevins scored the goal. We beat them 1-0 and Pat scored the goal. I can't even claim an assist, guys. They probably dragged me off before we scored, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
Hey, this is a classic. The lad scored at the Mile High. He played at the Mile High Club. And now we're going to Vegas. So what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas after going to the Mile High Club.
I can't wait.
Yeah. You see, I think as well, kind of swinging it round to this season, you must. I know we spoke about the Philly game, and it kind of gave you that impression. Look, that they could potentially do it. You must be quite confident looking at the NFC. I know that Philly haven't lost yet, but one or two of the other teams that we thought would be strong aren't maybe as good as we thought. We've seen one or two holes in Green Bay. They've lost a game that they should have won against the team that they should have beat. The Lions have lost already against Green Bay. San Francisco are picking up injuries. Washington have had problems with the quarterback. So a lot of the teams that kind of in there, that looks like there could be a track for the Rams to certainly get to an NFC championship game, and then all bets are off at that point.
Absolutely. I would be disappointed. Do you know what I think, Fletch? You look at Vernon, in many ways as well, I look at the Champions League, right? And it's important to win games and it's important to pick up points. But I think it's a wee bit like the NFL. It's important to peak. I think it's just as important, if not more important, to peak at the right time. You know what I mean? And I think those games towards the end of the season are absolutely vital. I know you've got to pick up the games to get there. I get that totally. But I just see I look at us, Fletch, and as I say, you sometimes learn more in defeat than you do in victory. In that particular game, and I know I keep saying it, I was gutted. I obviously gutted at the end with the kick getting blocked at the end. But that's life and that's football. And then I thought about it after. And I thought Neil was spot on. Sean McVale was sitting there thinking, wow, we've done enough here to show me that we've got the goods here to perhaps go all the way. And I think we have.
Yeah, I think also this season, everyone's fallible. I don't think that, there are a few teams in the league who have not lost yet, but they're not the strongest of teams. Everyone's got a weakness this season. And I think, apart from, let's say, your Tennessee Titans, everyone looks like they've got a good chance at the playoffs. And, one of the best coaches to ever coach in the game, with one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, Bill Belichick, always said, get me to the playoffs. That's all we need. Just get me to the playoffs. I don't care how we win. Once we're in the playoffs, the team has played a full season. We're dialed in. We know the opposition. We've got enough film on the opposition. We can then finely tune in that handful of games to get to the Super Bowl. I think that's the perfect mindset in the NFL.
Well, I think he's right. You're right, Vernon. Belichick and Brady, arguably two of the greatest in a perfect combination. And it's exactly what the point I was trying to make there about peaking at the right time. Clearly, you've got to get there. I understand that totally. But once you're there, man, anything can happen. Absolutely anything can happen. I mean, we've some brilliant teams in recent years. I mean, the Chiefs and Mahomes and things like that. Mahomes have been fantastic. But at this early stage, I take your point. I don't think there's anybody right out there just now you say, wow, they're massive favourites.
Yeah. Do you know what I think's great about being an NFL fan in the UK? And I think we don't get to experience this in the Premier League because we've all got a team in the Premier League or favourites, and it's very tribal. But I think even if you support an NFL team, you respect and enjoy the greatness of others. So Coisty just talked about Mahomes there. We've all marvelled at Patrick Mahomes. I'm a Bears fan, but the chance to see Patrick Mahomes do what he's doing, and prior to that, Tom Brady. If that was in the Premier League, you would immensely dislike the individual because he was doing it against your team. So, if you're not a Man City fan, you probably don't think back to Kevin De Bruyne's time there too fondly. If you're not a Liverpool fan, you're not that impressed by Mo Salah. But when you're an NFL fan, you enjoy everything and you enjoy the world-class nature, don't you, of what they're doing. I think I enjoy that as much as anything. The opportunity on a Sunday to think, I'm going to watch that player against that team and really enjoy it, even though I've not really got a horse in the race. I love that.
But do you know something? That's just us, Fletch. That's us, because I'll tell you why. And tell me I'm wrong. I agree with everything you said there, right? But that is just our parochial selves, right? Because see, if it's Europe, we can do it in Europe. I mean, now we can enjoy whether it's De Bruyne or Yamal, Lamine Yamal, all these guys. But you're right. When it comes to your own wee territory, we're not allowed to enjoy them. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
I can't imagine ever praising, even if Cristiano Ronaldo played for Wigan. If he played for Wigan, he is shite. I do not care. Ronaldo, Wigan, garbage. Absolute garbage. Ronaldo, anyone else in Europe, the greatest that's ever played the game.
Yeah. Vernon, there's people trying to convince me that Celtic used to have one or two good players. I mean, what's that all
about? It's so true. But also, when you also as a fan watching the Premier League, you never pick out a player and go, oh, the athleticism of this guy.
Yeah.
Wow, look at him. You never ever pinpoint anyone's athletic ability because they don't play for your team. Whereas in the NFL, you say, oh my goodness me, Justin Jefferson, this guy could literally go up and pull the stars from the sky. He's that good. Patrick Mahomes, do you know what I mean? He could hit a 10-pence piece sat on a barbed wire fence 40 mile away. You know what I mean? You would never, ever have those personal, intricate praise for a player in the Premier League. It's so true.
Yeah. Have you thought about doing commentary? Because I couldn't come up with those lines as quickly as you did if I
Brilliant.
Think about it.
Fantastic.
Well, to be honest with you, Fletch, I've got auto cue in front of me.
Hey, I don't know whether you've realised, Vern, either, that when me and the big fella do a game together, we've never seen a game that we don't enjoy. I don't know.
I know.
Listen, you know how much I enjoy. I was gutted on Tuesday night. Like the day that we're recording this, it's Thursday. I was gutted on Tuesday night. I messaged the big fella Fletcher, said, "What game are you doing?" "I'm not doing one." "What?" "It's on Prime." "Well, that's not on." Who did that deal? They need a chat. Like, come on. I love Gabby Logan to bits, but I've never spooned Gabby Logan. I've spooned Fletch. Do you know what I mean?
By the way, it's underrated. That's a joke. Kenny, just in case you're listening, Kenny, it's a joke. But do you know something, Vernon? We were the same. What game was it, Fletch? Fletch and I were doing a game recently, Vernon, right?
Bilbao Arsenal.
Bilbao Arsenal, right? So it went to the studio at half time, and Fletch and I are still listening. And the boys caned it, right? I think it was Maka, and was it Martin?
Yeah.
They've caned the first half, Vernon. And we were looking at each other going like that. I enjoyed that.
I say to him sometimes, Vern, we've never ever seen a game that we don't enjoy. No matter what it is, we find something, somebody, some incident that just don't stay. So it's like, it's great.
But that's why it works. That's what sport's all about. You don't need two commentators who think they're playing the game. You don't need two commentators who think they should be in the dugout. You need two commentators who watch it as fans. And you guys have seen enough football to absolutely admire and consume the beautiful game. Do you know what I mean?
I sat next to a fella last night who thought he should have been in goal. I can't believe the speed change in praise for goalkeepers.
But you know something?
He used to terrorise them for years. Now he can't praise them enough.
I'm getting soft. There's no doubt about it. I'm getting soft. But you know something? But that was the point last night as well, Vernon, right? We watched that game last night, the Arsenal game. And Arsenal, it was bizarre again because Arsenal were brilliant for 45 minutes. Should have been 2 or 3 ahead. And we're actually a bit fortunate enough to win 1-0 up. It could have been 1 each. And then the second half started and Olympiacos came back into it and were excellent. Now, the easiest thing to do from our point of view would say, well, what's happened to Arsenal? They've taken the foot off the gas. They're not doing this. They're not doing the next thing. But Olympiacos were actually excellent at what they did. And what it Fletch, they were brilliant. It was a breath of fresh air. We saw enough in that first half to look at the front 3, front 4 to think, okay, they've not been in the game an awful lot, but they've got something about them. And when they do get the ball, they'll do all right. And that was the case. So I think sometimes it's easy to be negative. Of course.
Yeah.
And there are times where you've got to be negative. Of course, no matter which sport you're watching, you've got to be negative. But at the same time, you've got to big up the game and big up the opposition if needed.
Yeah, I had one of those nights, Vern, last night where they're making a substitution, Arsenal. So this is the point where you read the promos out and tell everybody what's coming on. So I've just said, so they're taking off Martin Ødegaard and Gabriel Martinelli. So I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Until 5 minutes later, Martin Ødegaard is now taking the corner. And I've taken it off 5 minutes ago, right? And I said to Ally, I thought they'd taken Ødegaard off. That's what happens when you read the promos while you're supposed to be doing the substitution. I got a kid on the bench for 5 minutes. He's been the best player on the pitch.
Vernon, I'll give you a better one than that. What about last week? He wasn't doing the game. I was doing the Rangers game, right, against Genk in Belgium. Vernon, I've had the worst 45 minutes of commentary in history, right? I swear to God, I've got penalty decisions wrong. I've got tackles wrong. I've got red cards wrong, right? He sends me a message at half time. Are you okay? Do you know what I mean? I'm needing a vote of confidence. I'm needing a boost. And that bastard sends me a text saying, are you okay?
Oh, brilliant. Where are you now, Vern, at the minute?
Oh, my God.
Where are you?
I'm at the iconic Maida Vale Studios.
Oh, are you?
This building is steeped in history. Like, everyone's performed here. All the greats, the Stones, the Beatles, you name it, Oasis, the Verve, they've all been in here and done a session. But it's the most understated building ever. So what happened during the war in this building? Everyone moved out of central London, like Broadcasting House, and they read the news bulletins during the war in this building. So all the secret messages, the coded messages that was going out to the resistance in France, it all came from this building. Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Now, he's meant to ask you something, Vernon. And I'll bet he's not even asked you, right? He's a bandit. Remember I came in to see him with a brilliant time. I tell everybody, see, he's nodding his head because he's not asked you. It was magic, and you invited me in early, which is really kind of you.
Hang on, Coisty, wait a minute.
Yes?
Have you got the pictures, Vern, that were taken of Coisty when he was in there in the studio? See, I have asked him. I've asked him now.
The Paul Weller was brilliant, and I managed to get a couple of pictures of Paul Weller, and it was I think it might have been the photographer of the studios. And I'm just wondering, any chance, because I'm a Paul Weller maniac. And
Did you not get sent them?
No, I never got them, mate. I never got them.
Coisty, stop badgering. I've just asked him. Stop badgering him.
Yeah.
I went to see, never mind the NFL. I went to see Paul Weller in the Jam in 1977 in Glasgow Apollo in the city tour, man. 1977. Have some of that. It was brilliant.
I'll get them. I'll print them off and I'll sign them. To Coisty. Lots of love, Vern.
That'll do for me. That'll do for me, mate. That'll be perfect.
Let me tell you one story about the fella before we get you out, Vern. So he fancies going to see Noel and the High Flying Birds at the Albert Hall. So he says to me, he said, look, he said, do me a favour. He said, just message Noel and see if I can get in. So I said, okay. So I messaged Noel and I said, look, Coisty's been on. Wants to know if he can come tomorrow night, see you guys. I know he's left it late. So I get back. Is he tripping? This was the line. Is he tripping? But I could read the message word for word. Is he tripping? He said, been sold out for weeks. Not my gig. If it was, I'd sort it. Tell him I'll sort the next one out. So I go back to Ali. I said, look, this is what he said. I think it's a no. Ali, you pick up the story from here.
Right. So I phones the guy at the Royal Albert Hall. So he picks up the phone, but no chance. And he says, is that you, Ali? I said, aye, as a matter of fact. He said, I recognise your voice, he says. I listened to TalkSport. I said, smashing. He said, I'll tell you what you do, he says. Give me a call back just about 2 minutes to 5 before the box office, and I'll just see if there's any returns. He says, highly unlikely, we don't get many. He said, anyway, give us a call back, couple of minutes to 5. So I phones back the box office, Royal Albert Hall, bump, boy picks up, Ali, smashing. He said, by the way, he says, you're the luckiest man alive, he said. I've just had one return 10 minutes ago. He says, that to make it even better, he says, front row, balcony, right, best seat in the house. I went, you're kidding me on. I said, lovely. She's getting the credit card details, bump, smashing. So I never said a word to MD, right, Vernon? So I go right in the middle of the balcony, best seat in the house, high flying birds. I thought, this is too good to be true. So Noel's giving it plenty, and I've got this is too good an opportunity. So I turn round, right, I've got the camera up there. I took a selfie, me in the balcony, with Noel singing in the background with the high flying birds, right? So I sent it to him, and I sent it to Noel, and I said, Noel, apologies. I said, I had to get right above your head to get a ticket for your concert at the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, brilliant.
And he just sent me a message back, how then? So I've got this brilliant photograph of me away up in the balcony with Noel singing with a high flying buzz in my background, mate. It's tremendous.
And it's a picture of you in the Royal Albert Hall with Noel in the background in a Dallas Cowboys cap.
Correct?
Yeah,
Right.
no link, absolutely.
Correct.
In a
Correct.
Dallas
That's why
Cowboys
we're
cap.
here.
Yes.
Hey, Ali, I will say this, right? To get back to brass tacks, this trip is something else. Like, this trip is something else. It's one of those trips where as soon as you get on the plane, you take your first sip of red wine, you've got nothing to worry about. Everything is taken care of. It's a dream, my friend.
I'm telling you right now, I cannot wait. I mean, the itinerary, the sport, the company, the red wine. I think everything's going to be absolutely first class. First class. Yeah. I can't wait. Bring it on, mate.
The only thing I need to correct you with, when he sits on the plane, that won't be his first sip of red wine. Let me just... Nor will it be mine or yours, just for the record.
That's very... Hey, we're in spoons at R5 at the airport.
Right. Let's just be realistic here. This is not anybody's first rodeo. Coisty, it's been brilliant having you on. Good luck to
I've loved it, guys. I've loved it.
Go well tonight. You're at Rangers tonight. We're recording this Thursday. I'm at Forest. So we're separated, but we'll be together in spirit.
I've got no doubt the text will be flying between us. I've got no doubt about that.
They will. And if you want to come with us, please do. Elite Sports Travel, get yourself on there. Contact Ben and the team. Coisty's there, Vern's there, Neil's there. We've got the Rams, we've got USC, we've got Vegas, we've got Las Vegas Raiders against the Cowboys. We're on Santa Monica Beach. I mean, it sounds dreadful, doesn't it? But somebody's
can go wrong.
So it may as well be you.
I'm just going to say one thing, right? And this is how good this trip is. The Dallas Cowboys Las Vegas Raiders ticket is the most sought-after ticket this season in the NFL.
It's not.
It is, because the Cowboys travel well. And you cannot get a ticket anywhere for the Vegas Cowboys game.
Wow.
It's unbelievable how Ben has sorted this. I mean, there's going to be a few holes in the desert where he's put the bodies to get these tickets, because
Brilliant.
this is the most sought after ticket this season in the NFL. The Cowboys at the Raiders.
Wow. And we'll
Lucky
be
boys,
there.
aren't we? Lucky boys.
Look,
We'll be
it's a
there on the Monday
special.
night.
And remember, there are spots still available. So if you are listening to this and you can pull out a few quid, it's one of those trips. We've been on a few now, and you can remember every single moment of it because they're that special. Great company, great food, great drink, great banter, and three darn good American football games.
Absolutely.
Fellas,
Good.
it's been brilliant. Good to have you both with us. Vern,
Great to see you, boys.
Vern's gone. Just gone.
No, I'm still here.
He's
I'm
still
still
there.
here. I'm still here. No, but wait. Right, I'm not. We'll do it next week. I'm not giving you my predictions yet.
Well, all I'd say is by week 5, I think you've got a better chance than the rest of us who did it before a pass was thrown.
Yeah.
Hey, Coisty, fashionably late as always. Albert.
Great
Brilliant.
stuff, boys.
Coisty, brilliant. Ally McCoist, Vernon Kay, fantastic.
See you, lads.
Thanks for being with us. Hope you've enjoyed it. Bit different today, bit of fun. This has been the Extra Point podcast in association with Elite Sports Travel, and we'll speak to you soon.